We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
99% of the people in this world want to be great. Would you agree with that? Yeah, they're called wannabes. 1% work to be great. Drop the mic on that.
Yeah, I didn't sign any mustard bottles or golf balls. Maybe wish I had a golf ball that night, you know what I mean? But I'm only kidding. All right.
It's, here it's Tennessee, so, we're going to get the best guys here. That's just every year. Every time we're out there, it's competition. Nobody has a spot. Nobody's comfortable. We're all working to get better.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
I'm Vols JP.
I was waiting to see how that would go because we did not talk about it at all.
I'm the X Factor, and I'm right next to the Godfather, Vols JP.
Somebody in the chat said, why aren't you guys starting yet? Well, because we're having introductions. Hey, look, somebody in the comments last night said, Boogie, why don't you have Xavier on more? Well, I don't know, man. Maybe because he's busy. Xavier had something going on last night. So I was like, look, I'll hit up the X Factor. We'll get him on Wednesday night. We'll have some fun. We'll talk some Tennessee football. I had two intros ready. I had a depressing one ready to go. And you guys on Twitter said, no, I'm ready to move on. Let's play the one we're going to go beat somebody down. Look, it's Nugs. Nugs is saying, yo, Boogie, why are we late? What are you doing? But I'll give Nugs some credit because he follows it up with a little gin and smoking lies, little turnpike troubadours for you there. I'm glad somebody in the chat recognized it. Let's see who else is here. Robert Tuck is in the house to smash that thumbs up. Yeah, do it. Do it early. Do it politely. Do it often. Do it more than once. If you've got multiple accounts, like certain South Carolina content creators that you need to troll, you can sign on to both of them and come smash the thumbs up. Paul Lindsay's in the house. I can't help myself, Dauber. Matt Dummett is here. Justin Sanday is in the house. What's up, Justin? Got some blood in the house. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you in the chat, buddy. The man responsible for all the T-shirt designs, all the merchandise. So you can harass him. He is in the chat. I see 86 says, am I banned yet? Not yet. Maybe soon. We'll see. Kenny Jones in the house. Oreo Puppy Dog says, I'm still sad and depressed. I'm still sad and depressed. You know, I told you I had, for you sad people, I had a second intro ready to go.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow.
All right, I'm not playing a whole second intro because you guys get mad enough when it takes a couple of minutes to get into the show. Come on in, smash the thumbs up. Kaylin's in the house. David Velox is here, says traffic is crazy, Boogie. Well, I'm glad you're here, David, but it is crazy. Holy cow, the traffic's nuts. Let's dive in. Well, let me actually take a breath. Yeah, see, look at the chat. They're like, no, stop. Please, no negativity. I don't need that. Nug says, turn it off. Adam Cook says that hurt. See, I made the right decision. John Hill for $10. We can start the show now. Thank you, John, for the super chat. Time to cut anchor and sink Vandy. Take out that frustration off on the doors. Let's go, Big Orange. Appreciate that, John. Nate Pruitt for $5. Happy Thanksgiving, Vols fam. Let's go out Saturday. Shut down Nashville, baby. Big Daddy Milton is going to do big things. I hope so. Thank you for the super chat, Nate. BBS support group, the man with 1,000 names. Culberson, you got a different name every week, but I love it. Thank you for the $10. What's up, Vol family? By the way, what about D. Williams at corner? I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like D can get on the field other than
he got in one game. I forget which one it was, and he didn't do too well. And that's the last that we've seen of him play defense.
Yep. Let's look. There's going to be a little bit of negativity. JP's not been on here. Xavier's not been on here since the South Carolina loss. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Then we'll move ahead. We'll start looking at Vanderbilt. And really, maybe this show is just kind of a therapy session of the way this whole season has played out. But JP, I got to put you on the spot right out of the gate because I made the comment. I made it multiple times. I made it on here last night. I just recorded Locked On Vols for Eric it's going to air on Friday. We talked about it. The way this season's played out, right? You got everything's in front of you. You got a college football playoff to play for. You go and get embarrassed by South Carolina, right? And this is a what if. And I shouldn't put this into existence, but it's worth a conversation. What if? Do you remember what happened? Do you remember the conversation? It was just you and I when Jeremy Pruitt lost to Georgia State. It was just you and I that came on here. And you said he will never, ever have success at Tennessee. And I said, no, JP, the typical conversation. You being the negative guy, me being the optimistic guy, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Everything is just fine. Meanwhile, the house is burning down around me. If this football team doesn't bounce back, I feel like this Vanderbilt game is so freaking huge. It's so crucial. If they don't bounce back, they go lose to Vanderbilt. What's old JP going to be thinking? Is that going to be a huge red flag going up for you?
Yeah, definitely it is. I mean, this team has done so much this year that they can't finish out this season losing these last two games. Everything that they've done up to this point, beating Bama, beating LSU, beating Florida with so much excitement, they just can't do it because they are the better football team. Yes, they've got deficiencies on defense, obviously, that they do, but still, this team has to rally around together, and that's what I'm most interested in seeing, and probably just about all of us is how does this football team respond? What kind of leadership shows up Saturday? Obviously, the heart and soul of the team is not going to be playing in Hendon Hooker, but it all comes back down to this defense, obviously. So with that, but I don't know if I'd ready to sound the alarm and say that Heupel's not going to make it or anything like that, like we were after that Georgia State game, because obviously I think Heupel's proven that he can field a really good offense, and I know there's arguments both ways with this defense. People are calling for Tim Banks and Willie Martinez and Brian G. Mary, all those guys to be fired. But then you got the other side saying, it's that we don't have the talent, and we got to get some dudes in there on defense, and I'm all for that continuity. I think that the more that you can keep that continuity going, but I'm also looking at it from the standpoint of is there's major issues on the defensive side of the ball. This offense, as good as it's been this year, masked a lot of those deficiencies and a lot of those issues. I don't know what happened Saturday night. I know that the defense is not great, but there was something else going on. Something had to be going on for them to play as bad as they did because, I mean, I thought, okay, we've given up 35 at half. All we need to do is come out and maybe give up 14 or 17 more and play better than we did in the first half. And this offense would be able to catch up and we'd end up squeaking a victory out. But no, I mean, we didn't stop them. I mean,
let me hit this
we
comment
didn't
real
even
quick.
come close to stopping them.
This is an interesting comment, Corey, because I was with you, Corey. He said, what happened to all the blitz we had? It went out the door for that South Carolina game. I don't understand why. Eric Kane does a rewatch, and he goes through the PFF grades, and the PFF grades show that Tennessee blitzed almost 50% of the time. That's how
effective.
Right,
Yeah.
that's how ineffective
No.
the blitz was. But coming back to JP's, the conversation there, Jimmy's and Joe's versus Tim Banks, Willie Martinez, whoever. Diver, don't you think the truth always lies somewhere in the middle?
Yeah, it's probably in between right there. And I tell you, after having 4 days to think about it and kind of go back and chew it over, I think one of the things JP said in all that was the offense masked a whole lot of the problems that the defense had. And I think that the other thing that Saturday in Columbia proved or showed us is that Josh Heupel's offense is not geared to play from behind. It's they're set up to spread wide, run tempo, and go. And when you're chasing points, when you're, it's South Carolina was forcing Tennessee to run an offense to methodically move the ball down the field. We weren't getting the chunk plays that we had been getting all year, and it really, slowed the game down for Tennessee offensively, and I think that was a big part of the issue. What I've said all year long is the defense doesn't have to be elite. They just have to do enough. And enough is, forcing one or two more punts, flipping possession to give the offense those extra possessions to score the points. And it just, South Carolina went 5 of 5 on drives in the first half with 5 touchdowns. That's not getting it done. But like JP said, you're still in a ball game coming out the half, and it just second half never really that momentum. Never got going. And
yeah, I mean, we got it down to 4 and then 4 points, 35-31, and then they drove right back down the field and went back up by 11, and you're like, I mean, it's just, obviously
it was hard for them to play from behind. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I think Saturday is going to be tough because you've got Big Joe Milton. He knows he's the man. He knows he's starting. What is this team going to do? How's that chemistry going to be? How's that offense going to go with him heading it up? We talked a little bit last night about I think it does kind of change the play calling and philosophy a little bit because we've seen him come in and not be able to run as efficient and as fast as Hendo would, head up that offense. But I've still got a lot of faith in Milton. Like I said, it stuck out to me a whole lot that he stayed and didn't transfer out when he could have. What do you think, Xavier? I guess kind of wrap up last weekend in Columbia and give us kind of your thoughts on that since we've not heard from you, and then we'll put all that behind all of us and move on to thinking about getting double-digit wins this weekend.
Yeah, man, it really hurts. This one really does sting a little bit. I thought that we came in and we had this thing, and sure enough, that there were some issues going on, with the locker room, and I understand that there were speculations and rumors between Jeremy Banks and Hendon Hooker. And look, and you guys know, I've always came onto this show and I've always talked about how I'm a big Jeremy Banks guy. I love the kid. I love how he plays. I love how he's progressed this whole season. But I have to say, it's just, if you're going to let your ego, get in the way for the team, then you're a cancer in the locker room, like, I mean, this is unacceptable, and the fact that, like Boogie touched on it, like Josh Heupel called him out after, the game in the press conference, like that says a lot, so I don't, as far as like him being, kicked off the team and stuff, I don't know where they're really going to stand on that. Josh Heupel said that he really hopes he comes back for Vandy, and honestly, to be truthfully, I would rather have him come back for Vandy anyway, because he's done so well this whole season. But yeah, I mean, it sucks. It is what it is. It's kind of like what Big Ball Daddy said. It's just the Tennessee way. Like I don't know just what it is. It's like we do so good. Just the preseason, get us hype and everything, and then it's like kind of either the middle of the season, towards the end of the season, we find some way to give up big games, man. And like he said, I just hope that one day we just get over that hump and just continue to be great. But like you said, Dom, I still have faith in Joe Milton, because this is actually our chance to see, is he going to be the guy for next season when you got Nico coming in. So, I'm excited, and yeah, I mean, I just hope that this offense will respond in a big way, and we'll see what happens.
It goes back to what JP said earlier. Something was off Saturday. Now, was it the Hendon Hooker, Jeremy Banks thing, or was it? I think it was Craig in the chat said a little bit earlier. The comments from some of the defensive players, Aaron Beasley, interesting comments for him to say, "Hey, we basically thought we were going to walk in there and take it," and
unbelievable.
We never. But at the same time, like I mean, I think all of us on this panel played some type of competitive sport at one point or the other. You ever go into a game against an inferior opponent? What's going through your mind? Are you dialed in and focused? Are you like, all right, I'm going to steamroll this cat and move on to the next? I get it. And man, this team has dominated. And that's why when you look at this season overall, yeah, whoever it was that said it in the chat earlier, this team still has a chance to win 10 games. Like, if you asked us all four of us before the season, would you take 10-2 with a loss to Georgia and a loss to South Carolina? We would have all said absolutely 100% sign me up for it. Every single one of us. But hindsight's 2020. Now we're always going to look back at this season, JP. Always until the day they dump dirt on top of us. We're going to look back on it and say, but what if?
What could have happened? Yeah.
What if they had beat South Carolina? Could they have gone on and won a national championship? Could they have made it to the national championship?
I mean, so close to getting to that opportunity to potentially play, and that's all that you can ask for, is that opportunity. And now, that's what I can't wrap my head around, is Beasley coming out and Byron Young coming out and basically saying that they weren't locked in and they weren't mentally ready for that game, and they just thought they could just walk out there and South Carolina would just lay down. I mean, who on that defense, why would they think that? Because it's not like that the defense is some juggernaut like this offense has been. I mean,
yeah, but you got to look at the week before, right? You got to look at the week before. South Carolina's only touchdown came off of a fake punt. They didn't even get in the end zone. That's what makes it even worse, JP.
I mean, trust me, I know. Trust me, I know.
It's embarrassing.
I'm sitting there in the first half going, my gosh. I mean, this team can't even score.
You were texting me and Daubers what you were doing.
Yeah. Oh, I was so mad. I mean, I was so mad because, yeah, I mean, you were right there at it. And, I mean, those opportunities don't come around very, very often. I mean, they don't come around very often. And that's what's been so hard to swallow, too, with this, is obviously nobody expected Tennessee to be in this position going into Saturday. But, there was so much excitement, so much build-up. The fan base was crazy. I mean, there's been so much into it. And then to lose the way that they did, oh, my gosh. I mean, if South Carolina would have came out and beat us by a field goal or a late touchdown, or even if Tennessee had basically like just played like crap on offense and turned it over 4 or 5 times and gave South Carolina a short field, I think I could have stomached it better than what I did by just our defense did not show up. I mean, they did not show up, and you gotta hope that these players are absolutely just beyond ticked off, and these coaching staff. We'll see Saturday.
Well, that's the name of the stream. The name of the stream is, will the Vols respond? And how this team at times, again, spoiler alert for Friday's Locked On Vols, that we had the conversation. This team has never been in that situation where it's kind of like, all right, you're going to go out and you're going to dominate South Carolina. It was like it kept building, right? It was building blocks. The stakes got bigger and bigger and bigger. They beat Pitt on the road. They survived in overtime. They beat Florida. The Alabama game was huge, right? And we're talking about a hangover against freaking Tennessee Martin. And it's like there was no hangover. They came out, they took care of business, and then it just kept building and building and building. And then they got to this South Carolina game, and it's kind of like, all right, everything's on the line, but you're supposed to go dominate, Dauber. You're supposed to go dominate. So do you think how does this team respond? Now, I think they're going to come out pissed off on Saturday.
I think they will. And I'll wrap this up and put a pretty bow on it with something I said in the postgame Saturday. You look at number 1 Georgia. They won against Kentucky by 10 points. Ohio State won 43-30, but that was a 30-33 game before a last-minute fumble touchdown. Michigan won by a field goal. TCU won by 1 point. That's a top 4 teams right there. and Georgia had their Missouri game. They struggled against Kent State earlier. Ohio State has had multiple games that were close calls. But what's the difference? I don't know that those teams entered any of those games thinking, well, we're going to walk through. But good teams, even when they don't have their best stuff, find a way to win.
Find a way to win.
That's what Tennessee did not do Saturday. The offense wasn't clicking. The defense was – it almost was like they didn't even travel to Columbia. So
we'd have been better off not even having a defense out there pretty much. I mean –
I mean, just like Saturday was just so weird for like the top 5, ranked teams to struggle with bums. But, knowing that we have Tennessee luck, we're the ones that come out on the losing side. It's just, I mean, it's just crazy, But
it's Tennessee, right?
I sit there all day, Xavier.
Right.
I made sure that I had everything done last Saturday before noon. I told Brandy, I was like, I want to be home by noon. I said, TCU Baylor comes on, Michigan, Illinois comes on. I said, I want to watch these games. And I mean, I sat there.
Disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
And
watching
then
that
ended off
one
with
big
that
kick in the
Saturday
nuts.
night.
Yeah,
one big kick in the nuts at the end.
I was sitting there pacing the floor, watching that TCU Baylor game, and then we saw what happened there. And then I turned it over to the end of the Michigan Illinois game, standing there pacing the floor. We saw what happened there, and I told Brandy, I said I've sat here all afternoon, and I've rooted for these teams to lose. I said, you watch Tennessee blow it tonight. You watch, and sure enough, by God, they did. They did.
Yep.
They blowed it.
Hey, Boogie, you'll get a kick out of this. Hey, JP, did you go outside on the front patio during the game? Were you pacing out and then had to go stand outside?
No, actually,
no, because we weren't there annoying him.
Actually, I didn't. Honestly, from halftime on, I just sat in there, and it was just like, really, I didn't have any emotion. The only time I really showed any kind of emotion was when Hooker got hurt. Man, that just sucked. just sucked.
Yeah,
Yep.
you talk
Right
about
there, just took the icing on top of the cake.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh
that was
yeah.
icing on top of the
I
cake.
mean, it was like really after sitting here watching us get absolutely destroyed, and then seeing him go down like that, it just a horrible
that.
day.
That was harder to swallow, I think,
Yeah.
than the
Yeah.
actual loss.
Oh yeah.
Even though the loss, not necessarily the loss, but the way it happened, just the fact that what we've talked all year, you take care of business and beat the teams you're supposed to be, and you're competitive against the big teams that you've not really been competitive against, and they've done that. But Saturday, I just think, especially the second half, it just wasn't competitive. There was a lack of fire, a lack of passion, and
that's
It's
just
the
what's
complete
just so
opposite.
hard to
It's the
understand.
complete opposite of everything Josh Heupel has done up to this point.
Yeah.
So
And
it makes you question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know all these media outlets sit on it and protect it and all this nonsense, but you got to question the deal with Hendon Hooker and Jeremy Banks. I'm sorry. You have to.
Yeah.
And I know we've already talked about it, but football teams, that's a lot. You're talking about a lot of people. You're talking about 100 kids when you get into walk-ons, probably more than that. There are cliques on football teams. There are people that are going to be in the camp of Jeremy Banks. And I know, I got confirmation that this team was not divided, that this team was in agreement with Jeremy Banks staying home. That's been confirmed. That has been confirmed. You still have to wonder how many kids were pissed? How many people were upset? Were they focused on that instead of being focused on football?
Right.
Something was off. JP already said it. Xavier, did you get that vibe that something was? It wasn't just X's and O's. Something was off. Something was different with this football team.
Oh yeah, and then I don't know if you guys even noticed, but like even during the game, like you can just see the look on Hendon Hooker's face. Like he just wasn't, like you can tell that something was bothering him. Like something in the back of his head. He just wasn't focused. So that's when I kind of speculated something. I was like, okay, yeah, as if he's missing throws, just overthrowing, Hyatt and just not looking just aggressive and stuff. I was like, something is off for sure. So. But, it is what it is, man. But like what I said, I mean, like I said, I love Jeremy Banks. I mean, I do. But, brother, you got to grow up. I'm sorry. I love you, but you got to grow up. I'm sorry. Your ego is not bigger than the team. So now your team has to suffer not only just this loss, but you have to go out here and try to beat Vandy. And basically, it's a game of trying to, basically just respect and pride. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to say, hey, we're still that team. So, it's just like I said. I thought he had to come to Jesus meeting, but obviously he's still got a little bit to learn. So
that's the unfortunate part, is because all the drama with Jeremy Banks previously, and people wanted him kicked off the team, and it's always that weird thing of when a kid, and I know a little bit about Jeremy Banks. I don't know his whole life story. When a kid only has football, when that's all they have, like when you say, "All right, we're giving up on you, you're done," where would Jeremy Banks be if he didn't have Tennessee football, right? And you hoped that he had turned the corner and was kind of moving in the right direction. And it's unfortunate over ego. Like just do it's 10 push-ups. It's 10 push-ups. Right. Just do your stupid push-up. You're supposed to be the leader of the defense. And if the leader doesn't follow the team rules, then why would you expect anybody else to? Do your freaking push-ups, man up, and move on. JP, I cut you off. What were you going to say?
I guess my thing with this whole Banks deal is I would be curious as to when that it was determined that he wasn't traveling. It almost thinks to me maybe that it could have been later part in the week, and maybe it was one of those kind of surprise things. Maybe that was one of the reasons why that the defense didn't play as well. That's just. I've just been kind of curious as the timeline onto all of that. I know that I'd seen stuff that they'd said Banks had missed, practice or whatever in the early part of the week, and there were some things going on throughout the week. But I just wonder, when it was determined perhaps that he wasn't going to travel and he wasn't going to play. What kind of impact that may have had on the defense. But still, I mean, it's still with what they had in front of them and the opportunity, that is what's so disheartening. And that's what me as a fan, and I think probably a lot of fans, that they just can't fathom. They just can't fathom, because those are the guys out there that are busting their hind end, sweating and working all year long for these opportunities, and then you have it there in front of you, and then you go out there and you play a game, and it's like that you don't even care, that you're not even really trying. That's the hard part as a fan to really try to understand.
Let me jam through some super chats real quick, and then we're gonna turn the page, move ahead to Vanderbilt coming up on Saturday. Evan counts for 5. I think Coach Josh Heupel and company come back with a vengeance this weekend and beyond. What do y'all think? I think you're right, Evan. I think they come out pissed off on Saturday. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder. They got humbled on Saturday, and I think they bounce back. I truly think they respond on Saturday. Give my all for Tennessee today for 2. Nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. Hey, we appreciate that. You're keeping the lights on around here. We thank you for that. Joe Brown for 2. Bama shouldn't be higher than UT in the college football playoff. But is anybody really, are you really surprised by that?
No.
Like, I fully expected it. And honestly,
when you give up 63 points to a team that only scored 6 the week before and has struggled, I mean, I get it. I understand it. But still, I don't think that we can be upset that we're 10th right now with that performance Saturday.
Beat Vanderbilt, hope for a good New Year's Six bowl, and it is what it is, and that's still a good season. Don't get lost on that, guys. Let's do a little plug, a little shilling. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merch. You guys know where to go. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We appreciate any of the merch that you guys pick up. Any and all support greatly appreciated. Like I said a little bit earlier, the super chats, merchandise purchases. Becoming a member of the channel, you can hit that join button down below. It's 99 cents a month. Like if you're here and you're watching the live streams, you're watching the videos, you like the content, for 90, like it's not even a cup of coffee, like 99 cents a month, you can get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows. We try to highlight the member comments as the live streams are going on. You get a power T beside your name, all kinds of fun stuff. We appreciate the support. Again, 99 cents a month. There's 18,000 subscribers. Let's get 18,000 members on the channel. But if not, that's cool. Hang out. Let's talk Tennessee football. Smash the thumbs up. That's quick, free, and easy. We appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with us. Let's dive into Vanderbilt. We'll see where the conversation goes. Xavier, we've been talking about the chip on the shoulder. How do you think this team responds? Will they respond? How do you think they come out on Saturday?
Well, like you said, Boog, I think they're going to come out pretty pissed off. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you was this close to getting into the college football playoffs, and it's gone, So you just got to just go out there, just compete, play your game as usual. And I understand that Joe Milton's going to be, your QB1 for this game. So it's just come out, be aggressive, play your game. Don't let the emotions try to basically lose the game for us, because that's the thing, in the back of their head, they're like, okay, we lost South Carolina. What about this game? And Vanderbilt's they're ready to play. They're looking at us as fresh meat. I mean, they took care of Florida, they took care of Kentucky. So yeah, little brother's looking at us as fresh meat. But I still believe that, like, JP said earlier, I mean, we are still the better team. And I believe that we're going to go out there and we're going to handle business. So I'm really not too worried about little brother, but it's mainly what's Tennessee going to do versus what Vandy's going to do. Because, see, Vandy's going to be Vandy always, but I'm just worried about what are we going to do. Like you said, like, how are we going to respond to Vanderbilt coming off of 2 very high, SEC win?
I know I just changed gears. We got to change gears again. Somebody in the chat here says that video Tennessee released has me ready to cry. I've not seen this. And I hope that we don't get struck and the whole channel die for this. I mean, we've already been demonetized because I like to play a little music every now and then. But, hey, you guys pay the bills with Super Chat. So I'll give up some ad revenue for a little music. But look, have you guys seen this? Has anybody seen this yet?
No, I was wondering what that Super Chat or not the comment was about.
All right, this is a 2-minute video that the Vol Twitter account just put out. Let's take a watch and see what this looks like.
I'm guessing Coach Davis saw something special in me. I'm glad he did.
I've already got chills.
Been through some ups and downs throughout the seasons. Perfecting my craft.
On the run, and he's got a first down and a bunch more. Hendon Hooker, big play. As Hooker looks downfield in the end zone. He's got one. Go deep, man's there. Got it. Hooker keeps it himself, and Hooker crosses over to his left into the end zone.
Hendon Hooker is the reason why Tennessee's back on the map.
He's the key to the ignition that makes us go, man.
I want to make plays for him. Just him being a leader here. I have so much respect for him.
He's earned everything he's getting. That guy puts more time in preparation than anyone I've ever been around.
Trying to lead my teammates is my ultimate goal, and trying to motivate them on and off the field.
I play for y'all boys. Y'all play for me. Play for each other, man. I was got man family on 2. 1, 2.
Hooker throws, end zone, touchdown! Cedric Tillman. Here's the rollout. There's the throw. There's the touchdown, Tennessee. Hooker fakes the pitch, spins, and scores. Down the middle, got him on the fly. It's high and again, and he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee, 78 yards for the win for the Volunteers. From 40, on the way, a knuckleball. He got it.
Good stuff right there, man.
Yeah.
We should probably just end the stream right there and call it a night. Let me say something, man. Another spoiler alert for Friday's Locked On Vols. I made a comment about my dad and said something about that he didn't watch football, but I was over at his house. We were sitting on the back deck, drinking a little whiskey and just talking. And he asked to smart off about Tennessee and say, they always lose the games they're not supposed to. And it's like, Dad, you don't know anything about Tennessee football, college football. Like, thanks, old man. And Eric said, how did you become a Tennessee fan if your dad didn't watch the game? And I said, man, I was just a little kid and flipped on the TV and saw Andy Kelly. And I was like, I left the game to go outside and pretend I had number 8 on and run around acting like I was Andy Kelly. And I said, the beautiful thing about Hendon Hooker is the success of Tennessee. And Dauber and I probably talked about this more than anybody, the kids today, because we talk about our kids and their friends and how they don't pull for Tennessee. And that's changing. And there are little kids all around this state and country that are in their backyard and they're pretending to be number 5. And that what there's not a better role model. There's not a better young man than Hendon Hooker to be out there pretending to be. And we had a special one, man, and it sucks. It sucks that he went down the way that he did. Like he deserved a better final curtain call than that South Carolina game.
And then I'm gonna add on to that too, is like I said, because I think we was on, the Fan Calling show, and somebody was talking about how, they took their kid to go meet, Spencer Rattler, and he was just a big jerk, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is a little shot of South Carolina fans. See, that's why to me, just Hendon Hooker, they beat us, whatever, but Hendon Hooker is always gonna be the better man off the field. I mean, no matter what the scoreboard is, I get it. Spencer Rattler, he's very talented. I'll give the kid that. But I have very high more respect for you of how you treat people off the field. And that's in any sport. That's like any athlete, like from basketball to football. It's all about how you carry yourself off the field or off the court, any kind of sport. And, just Hendon Hooker, man, just like I said, just a good Christian kid. Just wants to just do more and be a good role model and stuff. And yeah, like you said, but it just sucks just how he just went down with that injury. And honestly, this is the last game we won't be able to see him play like ever. So yeah, it's very heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. The one thing that I want to say about Hendon Hooker, and I actually meant to start the stream with this, is I appreciate Hendon Hooker because he actually made me to start caring about Tennessee football again. After that 2020 season, I've said it on here multiple times, I was so numb to just the ineptitude and the stupidity that program had been through for the last 15 years or whatever, and just the stupid decisions and the coaches and just all of that crap. I mean, I was so numb to getting blown out by by the good teams and losing to all the bad teams. But Hendon Hooker elevated it to the point to where, yeah, I mean, it hurt to lose a football game again. And for that, Hendon Hooker, I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
Auburn.
Yeah, like I said, the way he went out Saturday to end his career like that. You look at being thrust into action when Milton goes down hurt last year, and then never relinquishing the reins, having a pretty efficient season to close out 2021, and then starting this 2022 season and the amazing ride that it was. You know, you've said it so many times, sit back and enjoy this, because it's something that there are generations that haven't experienced this as a Tennessee football fan. So it has been special. But the way he's gone about it, I looked for it. I can't find it. I had seen a tweet, some video on the field after one of the games this year. I guess it was the what game did they go all orange at home?
Akron, maybe.
Akron, NC Martin. One of those. Anyway,
it was a scrub.
It was a young kid, and you know, Hooker is trotting kind of towards the locker room after the game. He kind of walks by, looks up, sees it's him, hands him a drawing. It's a picture that he's drawn. He looks at it, and the kid handed it to him, started walking away. He looks at it, and he yells back at him, and you know, pats him on the back and talks to him for a few seconds. And that just struck me, because, you know, here's this young man who is at the pinnacle of college football. You know, we're talking, you know, Heisman front runner, having an amazing season, putting up huge numbers, but yet he has time for that little kid who is looking up to him. And he's just, you know, you see all these pictures and videos going to the hospitals and this and that, and just all these things that he does outside of the game of football. And you like that is the type of player that this staff is bringing in. And you like when somebody that is that caliber of a human being sees the success that they saw this year. And when they go down with something like that, you know, it's a sucky way to go out.
He was right back at practice too. Right back at practice on his crutches, being a leader, because that's what he is as a leader. What do you think, Xavier, about the Heisman Trophy campaign? Obviously, we were pushing that thing back in the summer, and you know, I think he was putting up the numbers to do it. In the South Carolina game, even if he hadn't gone down, probably knocked him out of winning the Heisman Trophy. You think he's done enough to go to New York and represent the University of Tennessee and sit as a finalist? I think he has. I think he deserves to be there.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but I was listening to Josh Heupel talk about Vanderbilt coming up. But yeah, I mean, he even said it in the press conference. He said that he said, you know, even though Hendon went down, but he's put up numbers this season that he should win a trip up to New York. And I really truly believe that as well. So, but I mean, will he win it? I mean, probably not. They'll probably give it to CJ Stroud, maybe because of their undefeated season or whatever.
And I'm fine with that now. But I think Hendon deserves to be there.
Oh yeah, and he should. So, but yeah, like I said, Hendon, man, look, hey, just prayers to you, brother. I hope you heal up well. You are definitely a Vol for life. And, you know, now we're going to talk about him just like how we talk about as Josh Dobbs, you know, and I hope that just Hendon Hooker has a lot of success in the league going forward. So, like I said, prayers to you, brother, and thank you for what you've brought us this season. You have brought this fan base from the bottom up, you and Josh Heupel both. So let's
I'm just leaving that comment on the screen for a while because I really like it. I really like that comment. They didn't even pay for it, but I think I'm going to leave it there for a while. Boogie's the YouTuber of the year. I'll take it. Dauber is the Robin to Batman. Couldn't do this without my wingman. X Factor's America's hero. JP, well,
I'm just waiting on somebody to put a super chat in with my name on it.
Stop it, JP. That's not allowed. It's not allowed to come in here and allocate super chats and say,
Ryan
gets this one.
Ryan, I can leave the studio if that's what it is. If that's what it is. Sorry, I'm not.
What'd you do to Ryan?
I don't know. I don't know what I did to Ryan.
I wonder if Ryan, because he put earlier in the chat, he said that X Factor's America's hero. I wonder if he's the one that commented on the fan call-in show, basically yelling at me as if I made the decision for Xavier to not be here last night. It was somehow my fault.
I'm here, Ron. Don't you worry, bro. Like I said, hey, nobody's getting rid of the X Factor.
tell him, Xavier.
Right there
I
it is.
Didn't fire you. No, JP, no. That's
right
a $10
there it is.
super chat from Lonnie
So Lonnie.
All Williams. That's a legend. That's a man that killed a deer.
Lonnie has been around for a long time.
He killed a deer from his deck while we were live and walked us through step by step.
One of the coolest things that has ever happened on this channel.
It was so funny because, like, in the chat throughout the entire show, he's like, "Yeah, I'm 3 miles into the woods, found a little blood, going to continue to track the deer. I'll keep you guys updated." And then after it was all said and done, I don't remember he posted it on Facebook.
Yeah,
we got a
posted
picture
the
of it
pics.
somewhere.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely
hilarious.
legend. But he doesn't say this is for JP. He says Happy Thanksgiving, JP.
Yeah,
so
but
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Here's $10 for Boogie.
That's right. Yeah.
that's
Thank you,
the way I
Lonnie.
see it. Yeah, thank you, Lonnie. Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, buddy. Hope you kill a deer.
Immortal 1 for 10. Who's Milton's backup? It's Moore and Navy
Gaston
Schuler.
Moore.
They're walk-ons. We're in trouble. And that's
got,
why
Taven Jackson is hurt. He broke his collarbone against UT Martin. So
we'll get into Joe Milton and the game plan coming up here in just a second, and we'll kind of come back to who Milton's backups are and why that plays into it. Cody for 5, nothing to say, just a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Cody. Thank you for being here. Dan Yoder for 5. They will show up and win one for the hooker.
I hope.
That's a
I
t-shirt.
believe so.
Win one for the hooker. That's a T-shirt. And then we already got Lonnie, but we'll put it up there again.
We'll put it
Happy
back up there
Thanksgiving,
again.
JP.
Yeah.
He does.
We got
he
Nate.
doesn't tell,
We got Nate Palmer here telling me Happy Thanksgiving as well. I
but he
appreciate
didn't
it.
pay you. He didn't pay you.
Well,
For that.
that's okay. That's okay. Makes me feel better after Ryan was ready to kick me off the show for whatever reason.
It's a 50-50 balance, right? They either love you or they hate you. Like, believe me, and a whole lot of them hate me this week. It's been interesting. The Monday morning show got way more comments from Georgia fans and South Carolina fans than it did
surely
from Tennessee
not.
fans.
Surely
that.
not. Imagine that. Really?
Yeah. Imagine
Surely
that.
not.
Here's $5 from Julian Belk. Thank you for super chat, JP. Let's just go ahead and continue the show here. Julian says, JP, this is for you, bud. Keep being salty. Your commentary is gold. He
Thank you,
paid
Julian.
$5 to call you salty.
Salty,
Call
yeah.
you salty. Yeah. JP's salty. But look, hey, some of them will like you for that. Like, so many people like Snake. They're like, Snake's the only one on this post-game show that knows anything, because he gets on here and he's so negative. So anybody that's negative loves him and hates me and Dauber because
they relate.
Yeah, we're more optimistic, and they're like, Dauber and Boogie don't know anything.
I mean, I don't think I've been too awful negative tonight, right? I mean,
no, not really.
I mean, we laid an enormous egg Saturday. I mean, it was pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't sugarcoat that. That's pathetic.
That's not funny. That's not funny, Cayman. That's a comment that goes back to the Sunday night stream. That's embarrassing. We'll keep that to Sunday night, Cayman. We'll keep that on Sunday night. Nobody needs to know about the comments being made on Sunday nights. That's a different audience. Gate City Blue Devil for 2 says Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, thanks. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. That's your guy, isn't it?
I'll throw this up here. That's my buddy at work, and had the pleasure today to get to meet somebody that's been on this channel a few times, and we hope to do some more stuff with. So I know I'm too lazy to do that. So
look at that leg. Look at that leg. Put it back up there. I have
yeah.
the chat blocking it. Look at Big Vol Daddy with that new prosthetic leg with a power T.
So, man,
dude, Big Ball Daddy's good people, man.
Awesome to get to meet him in person today, and just really enjoy when we've had him on, and hope we continue to be able to do stuff back and forth with him. And it's like we've talked about. It's all about connections and relationships, and the people that I've met through Talkin VAWLS. It's awesome because everybody's got that same passion and that same, fire that burns down within. That's why days like last Saturday just kind of get you a little bit. But
I was talking to Big Vol Daddy this week, and because we were talking off air, we were texting back and forth about all this drama with these idiot Georgia fans, South Carolina fans, and I was like, I'm thinking about addressing it like in an actual video. And he's like, dude, just let it go. And he said, he's like, I'm jealous of the audience that you guys have over there because you have built this community of people. And I know we say that a lot, right? We say, oh, we got a community. We do, man. Now, you talking about meeting people? We do legitimately have Xavier is here because of this show. Like, that's how we got to know Xavier and Gabe and Big Vol Daddy. All these people, man. We build a community, and that's that's the point of this channel. This channel is not to get on here and be like trash talking and yeah, of course we talk about other teams. We talk about college football, but it's all about being here and building a community of like-minded people that love Tennessee. And sometimes we disagree, just like me and JP probably argue about Tennessee football more than any other two people on the planet. And poor Dobry gets stuck in the middle. But that's the beauty of it, man. I love this community. Man. It's like, poor Dobry's just like, he like tries to agree with JP and me at the same time while me and JP are like yelling at each other in text messages. It's been going on for years.
Well, and it just goes to, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, so I just wanted to, tell you, Boogie and Dauber and JP and stuff that, man, like I said, I'm thankful that you guys allowed me to come on to your YouTube channel and just be a part of the show, it's a real humble and blessed thing. And like I said, I'm very thankful and grateful to even meet you guys in person, because like I said, I'll never forget, like I said, it just all started how I looked at Boogie's hat and it had ETSU on it. And then I looked and I was just like, okay, he has to be local. I was like, there's no other person on this planet Earth that has that hat. You're not streaming in North Carolina somewhere, and you know what I'm saying? So then I was just like, okay, let me get to know him a little bit more. And then, he told me where he was located at, and he was just like, dude, we got to hang out. So, it's very, like I said, I'm just very thankful to be here, man. Like I said, and I love coming on here and talking, Tennessee football, Tennessee athletic with you guys.
Now I sold my soul to the devil, and I'm wearing an App State hat. And they hate me for it. But hey, I'm gonna keep repping App State, man. I love me some App State. Let me hit a couple more super chats. Give my all for Tennessee today for 2. Jerk Herbstreit telling McElroy Vandy will beat Tennessee. I'm thinking about making a video on that. We'll see. Pecan for 2. JP is the boss. Go Big Orange. F Georgia. Happy Thanksgiving. Doesn't say it. It has to say this super chat is for JP. If it doesn't say that, you don't get it. Sorry, JP. I'm sorry.
I won't be able to eat any turkey tomorrow or anything. I have to eat some ramen noodles.
You're that upset about it?
Well, that $2 is going to make the difference for me.
Talking about hanging out and meeting each other, like me and Gabe were messaging, and he's kind of close. He's in Tennessee, and he's like, "Hey man, we're going to be able to get together." And I was like, "Well, we got to stream Wednesday. Thursday's Thanksgiving." And I was like, "Saturday's the game." I said it would have to be Friday. I said, let me check the schedule. I'll get with Dauber and Xavier and JP, see if we can all go down. And then I'm like, hold on a second. David Hobbs is committing on Friday. We're live streaming that, Gabe. Like we can't go eat. Like you're going to be working. We're going to be working. So that's just a quick reminder. Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern time, David Hobbs scheduled to make his announcement. Tennessee's going to have a hat on the table. They're in a good spot. So we'll go live around 4:30. We'll see who wants to jump on. I know Gabe's going to be on. Dauber may jump on. JP, if you want to jump on. We'll get on, hang out, talk a little recruiting for about 30 minutes. We'll watch the commitment live on air. So make sure you guys mark that on the calendar. Hit that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go random live streams like that Friday afternoon, Friday evening, 4:30. All right, this is getting embarrassing.
There you go.
Brandon Hall.
Eating filet and not turkey.
Dude.
Thank you, Brandon Hall.
I don't even want to say this. We got 3 nice, big, juicy fillets. And they typically wrap them in the plastic, right? And then they wrap them in the paper. The butcher didn't put them in freaking plastic. They were brown the next day, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I spent like $30 on fillets that I didn't get to eat. Thanks for reminding me of that, Dauber. Brandon Hall for $20. This super chat is for JP. All right, okay, hold on a sec. Does anybody in the chat like me? Can anybody put this super chat is for Boogie? Or, I mean,
they're all for you, Boogie.
No, this one's not. But thank you, Brandon. JP appreciates it. Maybe he can get some Thanksgiving ham. Lonnie
Brandon.
with another $5 says this is for JP. Go catch some bass. But he didn't say this super chat. So I don't really know what he means there. We'll have to discuss that off air. But thank you, Lonnie, for the $5. Wayne
Thank
for
you,
$2.
Lonnie. Thank you, buddy.
I'm glad
Appreciate it.
at least Wayne's cheap. He only gives you $2. Says this super chat is for JP to give to Dauber. Oh, wait. Little swerve there. What is happening? What is happening?
You've lost all control.
Can't forget about the X Factor now. Hey, come on, say, hey, brother. Don't forget
Bunch
about
of
the
joke.
X Factor,
Everybody
man.
just on here begging. Take your hat off and chill for it. Put it in my hat. Put it in my hat. And then watch the people that don't drop the super chats. Tism says Boogie is live, but there's no super chat attached to it. So I guess I'm eating ramen noodles now, JP. I can't afford Thanksgiving dinner. Bleed Orange 31 for $20. That ain't cheap. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. We will beat our little brother, beat Vandy. GBO $4.99 is for JP. Well, at least I made $15. At least I
Thank
made
you, Bleed Orange
$15.
31.
Yeah, appreciate that super chat, man. Adam Cook says my membership goes to the main channel. That means it goes in my pocket. Don't worry. You're doing the Lord's work, Adam. We appreciate you supporting the channel and not JP or Dauber or some other jerk around here. Xavier, nobody. JP, don't sell it so hard where they start to believe it. I'm trying to have a little fun. JP's turning them against me. Nobody's super chatting me and Xavier. Oh, absolutely ridiculous. We're 56 minutes in. We haven't even started talking about.
We went way off the rails.
We did, but I love it, man. This is
We're
what
like
Sunday
Tennessee's
night...
defense Saturday night.
We got more stops than them, JP. We got more stops.
True.
We got more stops. All right, let's take it into Vanderbilt. Let's talk briefly about our little brother in the middle of the state. Tennessee favored by 2 touchdowns. ESPN, FBI out the roof for Tennessee. Do they respond? Do they not respond? Do they come out and play with a chip on their shoulder? Cody for 5. Thank you for super chat. For people who missed it, Sunday night, Boogie likes fruity stuff. Cody, I hate you. That $5 at least goes in my pocket. We'll just say that. The Sunday night crew's having a good I look at Wayne laughing it up. Wayne thinks it's hilarious. Thinks it's funny. Yeah, we had some fun. We had some fun Sunday night. I love that Sunday night crew. We'll be live this Sunday night playing some NCAA. Same old song and dance. We'll talk Tennessee football, and then who knows what happens after that. It always gets nuts. But let's just go right into predictions. We're 58 minutes into this thing. Let's just go right into predictions. Dauber, we'll let you kick this thing off first. Give me a little something.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You don't like going last when everybody said everything. Now you're going to talk for 15 minutes and leave nothing on the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna wipe the floor with every possible comment that can be made about this game. Listen, it's a rebound game. Can this team rebound? Can this team rebound with a new captain at the helm? To have everything and have it slip through your hands the way it did last Saturday night in Columbia, it's one of those things. Will this team respond? Will they show up? Listen, Vanderbilt is playing for bowl eligibility. Mm-hmm. They win, they're going to a bowl. So don't get it twisted. They're going to come ready to play. They come ready to play anyway because it's Tennessee and they've got the Napoleon syndrome, little brother syndrome, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be fired up and ready to play. Tennessee was a 21.5-point favorite against South Carolina on the road. They are a 14-point favorite against Vanderbilt on the road. So that should tell you something. Vegas likes Vanderbilt more than they liked South Carolina in the matchup against Tennessee. I was pretty confident. Boogie put me on blast and made a little video for last night, and I wasn't even there to start on time.
Yeah, so you deserved it. You deserved it.
Talking about my confidence of this offense, being able to do pretty much what they wanted against South Carolina last week. I don't really think the offense was the problem. It was the defense. We've talked about it. But I think that these guys are going to come out with some piss and vinegar in their veins, and they've got a sour taste in their mouth too, because they know big picture that what they lost, the opportunity and the chance to do. I do think there's going to be some struggles. I think the offense is going to they're not going to be as efficient. They're not going to be as quick. But I think at the end of the day, Tennessee still has a lot to play for, and Tennessee is the better team on paper. Man, it's not even going to be close to that. I think it's going to be 35-17, Tennessee.
JP, did you see the video last night?
No, I didn't.
People gonna get mad. People gonna get mad. I'm gonna play it anyway because it was funny. We got 192 people watching. Let's see how many leave after this. It's funny, guys. Have a laugh at yourself.
They don't know where number 11 is lined up. They don't know who's covering him. And I think he has a heck of a day. I think he's going for at least 2 touchdowns and 100, 120 yards. I think it's going to be a little bit dialed back from last week. I don't think they're going to hit 60, but I've got them 55-19.
Like I said, it's going to be therapy. I know people are mad. People are upset. People are hurt. People are confused. People are blaming people. People want to fire people. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah, depressed. That's a good word for this, Boogie. You and Eric were talking about, is this the worst loss ever for me in my lifetime? Definitely. And I've seen the Wyoming game. I was there for that. I've seen Georgia State game, and even worse than that, the Memphis game back in, what was it, 96, I think, when Peyton was quarterback and they had their miracle 1 win over us.
For times when my life seems so low, it would make me believe what tomorrow.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that.
Well, I mean, all of us picked these crazy scores, and I mean, there was nobody that covers South Carolina.
It was a blowout.
Yeah, it was
just
a blowout.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Every single one of us were picking Tennessee to blow out South Carolina.
All
Everybody
of the media that covers South Carolina was picking a Tennessee blowout.
Everybody.
We were favored by 21 or 22.
Yeah. Just so you know, Georgia fans, that was a blowout. Not with y'all. Just saying.
Yeah. All right, Xavier, give us your prediction. What are you looking for on Saturday against Vanderbilt?
Man, like Dauber said, man, like I said, I even said it earlier too, just Vandy's going to come out, man. They're going to come out looking at us like fresh meat, like they're going to be ready. But same thing with us, man, like who would have thought that, after the loss to South Carolina that we're actually calling this game a toss-up game. I mean, but like
nobody
said, it is
said
a rebound game. I mean, it sure does feel like one. I ain't gonna lie, it kind of
does. When
like
you've got Kirk Herbstreit predicting Vanderbilt to win, that's a toss-up.
Yeah. So to me, so to me, I mean, this is just me. It feels like a little bit of a toss-up game, but like we talked about all night, Tennessee is the better team, and I've never been scared of little brother. I mean, they even have UT fans in the Vanderbilt fan base. So it's gonna be a game, guys. What I'm saying, just will Tennessee come out and just dominate? So what I want to see is just the team just be aggressive, play your game plan. But my score prediction, I'm going to go ahead and say that, Tennessee just takes care of business. I'm going to say, Tennessee 45, Vanderbilt, I'll say 24, just because that, they are playing for bowl eligibility and they're going to come ready and hot. So I'm going to say 45-24.
JP, what do you got?
Again, we got to see how this team bounces back. What kind of what kind of true leadership is in that locker room. Obviously somebody on offense is going to have to step up without Hooker there. I think that Milton can get the job done against Vanderbilt, but it's not going to be easy. Vanderbilt's coming in 2 straight SEC conference wins against Kentucky and Florida. They're playing for bowl eligibility. There's some excitement down there. Tennessee better come ready to play, because I definitely feel like that Vandy's going to come out and they're going to give them their best shot. Now, it shouldn't be enough, but this defense is going to have to play. Obviously that this defense is going to have the aggression that they've had, even though that they've struggled, even though that they've had their moments. But they're going to have to bring some pressure, try to get some pressure on the quarterback. I think Tennessee is going to have to run the football to take some of the pressure off of Joe Milton. I'm really interested to see him. I'm excited to see what he can do and see if he truly has improved. I know that he's been in several mop-up duties and has looked extremely well. But what is he really going to look like Saturday when it's kickoff and he's the man in charge of the offense? But I think it's going to be close. Honestly, I do. I hate to say this. I think that it's going to be a close football game. But I think some way, somehow, the Vols are going to pull it out, and we're not going to have an epic meltdown Saturday night. But I'm going to go Tennessee 38 and Vanderbilt 34.
Ooh, chat's going nuts. Let's see, play the clip. This is the type of super chat that I love to read. This is perfect leading into my prediction. Ralph Keith for $50. JP, do you want to read that to me? JP, do you want to read that super chat? Do you want to read it?
This super chat is for Vols JP. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Beat Vandy by City. Go Big Orange.
That's not the way I read it. Thank you, Ralph Keith, for the $50. That is very generous. We appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. But we do have a thing around here. If you drop a 50 spot, we got to play the clip. So we'll play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Appreciate that, Ralph. Very generous super chat. All $50 goes to me. Going in my pocket. I'm just going to leave it up the whole time I do my prediction, because that's how much I like that super chat from Ralph. I appreciate that. All directly into my pocket. Hey, it is a bounce back game, man. It's a rebound game. How does Tennessee respond? I think they come out pissed off, angry. Dauber's still in my quotes, full of piss and vinegar. I love to throw that one out there. That's how I think this team responds, man. I think that's how they play. Something that I do think happens, though, is Joe Milton. And you guys earlier asking who's the backup for Joe Milton. When Joe Milton's the only scholarship quarterback on the roster, I don't think they're going to really utilize Joe in the run game. Maybe in the bowl game. I don't see it against Vanderbilt. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how he manages the game, how he manages the offense. Tennessee's got too much talent. They've got better coaching. They're favored by, 2 touchdowns? Why is it 2 touchdowns? Is it 2 touchdowns because Hendon Hooker's hurt? Is it 2 touchdowns because of what happened last week? I think Tennessee wins this game, but I think they will struggle at times. Look, the offense is going to take a step back from Hendon Hooker to Joe Milton. That's the reality. I hope Joe's the guy next year. I think he's going to be the guy in 2023 that starts. Does Nico win the job somewhere in the middle? Maybe. I don't know. But when you run down the numbers, when you look at Vanderbilt, you talk about Tennessee's defense, how awful they are, how terrible they are. Vanderbilt's giving up the same amount of yards through the air. Vanderbilt giving 50 yards more per game, giving up 153 yards per game on the ground. They score 26 points a game. They give up 34 a game. I know they're hot. I know they're the fun little team that everybody's talking about because of who they beat recently. The win over, Florida. Who cares? I don't care. It doesn't matter. Tennessee's got more talent. Tennessee takes care of business, but maybe it gets a little sketchy early at times. Who knows? I'm saying 35-13. Tennessee gets 10 wins on Saturday against Vanderbilt. Some people probably won't be as happy as they would be as going out and boat racing them, but I think Tennessee wins. Thank you again, Ralph, for the very generous $50 super chat. We appreciate that. Hey, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. I will drop a video tomorrow morning, even though it is Thanksgiving. I'll put out a video Thursday morning, probably around 8 or 9 o'clock. So be looking for that. Go check that out before you go sit down with the family and eat lunch or dinner. But we are very appreciative of you guys. You know, we talked a little bit about it earlier, the community that we built here. That's what it's all about. It's not about the trash talk and going to other channels and saying this and acting tough and all that nonsense. That's stupidity. That's not what we signed up for. When JP came to me and said, hey, let's do a Tennessee football podcast. And that podcast has changed from a podcast to just audio to live streams, and then live streams and videos and content. And then it blew up this year. And being able to have relationships with guys like Eric Kane, like I can't thank Eric enough for what he has done for us as a channel. Like, yes, we have helped build him up subscriber wise, but Eric has helped us more than you guys know. The other day I'm at the gym and my phone rings and it's him, and I'm like, oh, it must be some like a scheduling issue. I answer the phone. He's like, what's up, buddy? I'm like, not much. What's going on? I just wanted to complain about Saturday. I'm so pissed off about that loss to South Carolina. I'm like, well, this is a weird conversation. Ben McKee has been absolutely amazing. Having some conversations with some other guys that you're going to recognize that could be showing up on this channel soon. Getting the X Factor on here. The relationship with Gabe, Big Vol Daddy, all you guys in the chat that come on for the fan call-in shows. I love this community. We are forever thankful for you. You are changing my family's life with the way that you guys support this channel. I'm appreciative. We thank you. These guys, like, I was talking to somebody about this channel just recently, and I'm like, the beauty of it is I'm on there with my real life friends. Like, when you guys say, oh, you fired JP, you fired Indy Kid. No, what goes on off of this channel is way more important than what goes on this channel. I've said it a million times. I'm getting too freaking emotional and real, but it's the truth. When my mom died, Dauber was there for me more than any other person outside of my wife. Dauber was the dude that was standing at the front door saying, hey, what can I do for you? For reasons we both know why he was there. You understood. But the bottom line is we love you guys. We thank you guys. Before I get way too emotional and start getting nuts, we're going to wrap this thing up. For Dauber, for JP, for the X Factor, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is your Talkin VAWLS Network. Go big. See, this is where I'm searching for the outro clip. Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and